So our relationship started with this, but sadly, it can end because of it too.
And what is that?
It's planning or not planning. And if we don't plan, we will plan to drift.
And it took us an hour almost to go through that because of how important it is. Because this is one of the steps to intimacy. This is foundational.
One.
This is the reason you got married, like
Yeah.
you just said. The thing that led us to marriage is the thing that I'm willing to sacrifice first.
Absolutely.
And I know that even some people that are listening to this are going to think that this is such a small thing. But the truth is, I bet they could look at their schedule and realize they actually haven't gone on a date in a while.
Yeah.
That they could actually look and be like, no, and we can make excuses. No, I date my spouse when we're in the car together or with the kids or whatever it is. Like, no. We're talking about a date that you are planning, that you are scheduling. It's like we always talk about a budget. You don't have a budget if it's just in your brain. Your budget has to be written down.
It's so true.
It's the same thing with dating. You're not going to have a dating lifestyle if you don't have it on the schedule. Maybe that's just once a month because it's hard to get sitters, whatever it is. Maybe it's twice a month. Maybe it's every week, whatever it is. But it needs to be something that is scheduled. And so this is interesting that research and expert opinions generally indicate that couples who continue to date throughout their marriage often have a better chance of maintaining a strong, lasting relationship. Dating matters.
It's so true because I think that this is my science behind it. Like, and I've said this before, like we are not the same person that we married.
Praise God. I would not want to marry myself.
Praise God. We change, we evolve, different seasons of our life, parenthood, all the things. Like it changes us. And if we don't continue to learn who that new person is, we're going to lose them.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because we change.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about why to date, how to date, questions to ask in dating, because this is one of the steps to intimacy. If there are 10 steps back to intimacy, this is one of them. And this is foundational.
One.
This is the reason you got married, like you just said. But the reason, the thing that led us to marriage is the thing that I'm willing to sacrifice first.
Absolutely.
You know?
It should be.
That's crazy. I'm going to sacrifice dating my wife because now I have kids, or now because I'm busy, or now because we're married.
Yeah.
You know, because that's the thing. You think you're always together, but it's so different when you are first dating in a relationship, and the expectancy, the preparing to get ready to go on the date, where you're going to go, planning everything that happens.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so we want to make sure that as you're listening, definitely stick around to the end, because we're actually going to give you questions to ask your spouse on a date, because sometimes you can be together so long, you don't even know what to ask. Like in one of our previous episodes, we gave sexual questions to ask. Yeah. And so this one, there'll be a couple sex questions on there, but others are going to be questions to ask that are fun questions.
Yeah.
Questions just to go deeper. Maybe something you've never asked your spouse before. So we're going to jump into this. So here's some benefits of dating. We're going to run through this really quick. One, it maintains a connection.
Absolutely.
I 100% love that with you, because especially when you have kids, you find yourself drifting to being more connected with the kids, because it's even like the last few days. They want so much of our time, especially when they're on summer break, right? Yeah. It's like we played Monopoly last night. We played Monopoly the day before. We played Monopoly this morning right after breakfast.
Right.
They're always wanting time.
Yeah.
And so it's like I have to maintain the connection with you on purpose.
Yeah.
That's something that has to be purposeful. It's not going to be accidental.
No.
If I want our relationship to be strong, I'm the one that has to focus on maintaining that connection.
Yeah, especially when the kids are little. We all know. Like the younger they are, the more needier they are. And it's, you have to pay attention to your kids. You have to give them those things.
100%.
Right? And so my kids need a lot of time from me. But really, we can connect with it with a short period of time, with a date, right?
Yeah.
We don't need all the hours that my kids need. It's like just that short time.
Right.
So.
The second benefit of dating, romance and passion. Need I say more? Well, we talked about this before. Men are like microwaves. Women are like crockpots.
Right.
So how can I expect to have a romantic, intimate relationship with you if I'm just trying to make everything quick?
Yeah.
I have to.
Sometimes it's necessary.
Right. But I have to focus on, I need to date my spouse.
Yeah.
Because again, most of the time, not saying it's every guy, most dudes, that's where their mind is going, you know? Most dudes are more sexually active than the women, or the man sometimes is the woman.
Yeah, that's true.
Either way, all I'm saying is that dating, the benefit, romance, and passion, it sparks that up. Number 3, what's number 3?
Shared enjoyment.
Ooh.
Finding something that you guys like to do together.
What do you like to do?
I don't know.
I like to eat food.
I like to do that too.
And I enjoy doing that with you.
I like to be outside.
I was just saying, we like going on hikes.
We go on hikes. We go on walks. It doesn't have
bike
to be anything
rides.
like crazy. So I like to be outside.
100%.
I don't have like an actual hobby. You know,
I'm your hobby.
I'm your
hobby and your hubby.
Oh my gosh.
But so even thinking about that, before you got married, you had similar interests. Something brought you together. Even if you met at a bar, you know, like you and I, we got together at a party. We hooked up at a party when we were not living for Christ. And we had something in common. We both like to drink. And so that's where that relationship happened.
Right.
Thank God we got saved, because we would not have the relationship that we have now if we were living like old Joe and Krissy.
Right.
But old Joe and Krissy did have something in common that led to other things that we realized we have in common.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the next thing, stress relief.
Oh,
Praise
absolutely.
God. Because, again, get away from work, get away from the kids, get away from the worries of the world, get away from the worries of home, of the mortgage, of the bills. Here's the thing. It ain't a date if you're talking about your bills. Ooh. The other night you were asking me something in bed, had to do, I think, financially. I don't remember what it was. And I said, I don't want to talk about that. Because like
and now we never talked about it, and nobody knows what it is.
We'll find out once somebody starts calling, knocking on the door. You were late on this bill.
Well, my husband didn't want to talk about it when he was in bed, so I'm so
Could
sorry.
you imagine? We didn't want to talk about that, so we just kind of brushed it under the rug. All right, stress
Honestly,
relief.
though, like I think like this stress relief part, like as a mom, if you're a mom out there, this sounds silly, but you're going to know what I mean, parents, like going out and like getting dressed up and like not being sticky. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like just feeling good about yourself. That is even like a stress relief for me. Like I don't have to get like super, super dressed up, but just like not in leggings or sweatpants. Although sweatpants are kind of trendy now. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's a stress relief for me where like, okay, like there's actually evidence proven to like run errands and get out of the house and like get yourself ready and prepared for the day is actually stress relief. Like never in a million years would I think like
going to Costco,
errands
right,
is a stress reliever for me. But the reality is that it is. And so the fact that this is like a stress relief of actually like getting out of the house, getting yourself done up in some sort of way makes a big difference.
Yep. No, you're 100% right.
Yeah.
Another one, prioritizing relationships. That's the main thing. Like you're showing I prioritize this relationship.
Yeah.
I prioritize you. You prioritize me. We're going to put in our calendar. We're spending time together.
Yeah, that's good.
Some more research suggests that couples who engage in regular leisure activities together, including dating, reports higher levels of marital satisfaction and lower rates of divorce.
Yeah.
Again, like this statistics show this.
It's so simple.
Date your mate.
Date your mate.
Date your mate. Come on.
And
here is 5 things, and you can look up, I don't want to give all the numbers and statistics of this, but 5 things that, again, dating, how it improves your relationship. It will increase the relationship satisfaction. There will be improved communication, higher levels of commitment.
Yeah.
You're committed to each other.
Mm-hmm. You're invested.
You're invested. Right. Like, I'm not going to be dating you and then, you know, enhance sexual satisfaction. When you date, you want a mate.
Right.
That's it.
Right, because you don't see me homeless looking all the time. It's like, oh, wait, she actually does look good.
Like, dang, I see
she
you, girl.
Still got it.
Oh, she does got it. And I want it. Number 5, again, we just talked about this, that it reduces stress. Okay, so here are, and again, we're going to link this below, a PDF, date night questions.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, this is what I want you to do. Click below right now to get those PDF. And I want you to hit the subscribe button if even this is helping you right now. You're like, yes, I want to go on a date to not be stressed. Or I want to get dressed up to not stress.
Yeah.
Don't stress, get dressed.
Oh my gosh. This is terrible.
Oh man. Okay, so here are the fun questions. I'm going to have you read the questions. You're a good question asker.
Okay, these are good. So what's one adventure or experience that you've always wanted to have but you haven't yet?
Right. And the way that we have this broken down in the PDF is in different segments. Like we have exciting questions, funny questions, thought-provoking questions, sexual questions. Anyways.
Whatever mood you're in
That's
that
it.
night.
You could ask one of them and you'll just get on a rabbit trail and just keep going and discussing it. Or you're going to fly through all of them and be like, hey, let's get home.
But you know what I like about these questions is that it really starts, because I think sometimes we get into like redundant, you know,
like a rut
cycle we're doing the same things all the time, these questions will actually start to get you thinking and dreaming about the future.
Come on.
And so that's what these are about. So number one adventure or experience you've always wanted to have, but you haven't yet.
Yeah.
If you could travel anywhere in the world for a month, where would you go and why?
Italy, my homeland. That's why.
Oh my gosh.
You know what's up.
Michigan's your homeland. Chill out.
Oh, don't talk about Michigan.
What's the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you in public? That's a good one. If you were a superhero, what would your ridiculous and somewhat useful superpower be?
Like, what a fun question to ask.
I love that. Just get your creativity flowing. Okay, what's the craziest thing you've ever done that you've never told anybody about?
That's a thought-provoking. Like, think about this. This is a thought-provoking question.
If you could relive any moment from your past just for fun, what would it be and why? Number 7, what's your favorite childhood memory that still makes you smile? Did you have a favorite game or activity that you used to play with your friends as a kid? If you could have dinner with one historical figure or fictional character, who would it be and what would you guys talk about? And number 10 is if you could switch lives with any celebrity for a day, who would you choose and what would you do? I feel like nowadays nobody. That's crazy.
I know. I'm like more like the historical figure one.
I don't want to
like,
be any celebrity.
You know,
y'all crazy.
I really don't know an answer to that because even like some celebrities, like I'm just nerding out, but I'm like thinking about like comic book movies that I like. As you're acting and stuff and you're like seeing all behind the scenes, I'm like, you're just standing in front of a blue screen. I want to see like the aliens and stuff, you know? Anyways. All right. So there's sexual questions too. We have 5 sexual questions. What are they?
My.
Bonus.
What's a sexual fantasy that you've always wanted to try, but you haven't mentioned before?
Ooh, girl, where do I start?
Stop it. What's your favorite way to be touched that really turns you on? Is there a particular outfit or scenario that you find incredibly sexy? If you could have the perfect romantic evening together, what would it look like from the start to finish?
Boom.
So good.
Those questions are available for you right now. Download on the PDF right below. Okay, so now here's some tips, all right? I see the statistics why I should date. I know the questions I should now ask my boo on our date, but how do I date?
Yeah.
So here's how. We are going to give you some...
You've been out of the game for a long time.
You've been out of the game. Planning and preparation, okay? This is what it looks like. 1, get it on the calendar. Schedule it. Number 1, schedule it.
Yeah.
Schedule your date. Our date is on Fridays. It used to be Friday night. Now Friday night is family movie night. So it's become Friday during the day because Friday's our day off. So we go on dates on Fridays.
Yeah.
And like we said, this past Friday, it shifts because we actually you had a doctor's appointment and then we had something else that came up. So our date was at the gym.
It was fun.
It was fun. And actual studies show couples that work out together have stronger relationships. Right. Stronger physically and emotionally and sexually. Shoot.
Oh
okay.
my gosh.
So you need to schedule it regularly. So
well, I think this is twofold too. One, if you schedule it, it'll get done.
Yep.
But also it like gives you something to look forward to.
Yes.
Right? Like if you're having a tough week, if like you're stressed out, like if it's on the schedule, it's going to give you something to look forward to.
That's
for
it.
Sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
What gets on the calendar gets done.
Yeah.
That was it. Maybe even schedule sex. Write that down. What gets on the calendar gets done. We talked about that a couple weeks ago.
You're just going to put sex on the calendar every night. I don't know if it works like that.
Let's see. We'll try it. All right. Prioritize the time.
Yeah.
Treat date nights as non-negotiable appointments, just like a work meeting or a doctor's visit.
I'm going to give you insight, people.
Let's hear it, babe.
People don't need to know what your meeting's about.
No.
What your business is about. But sometimes we overshare things. You know, so if something comes up on Friday night when you have a scheduled date, be like, I'm so sorry. I'm busy that night. Period.
Yeah.
No explanation. No, let me see if I can move this around. I bet my husband will be okay with it. Absolutely not. Because that just shows what your priorities are. Whatever came up is a bigger priority than your spouse.
Yep.
And so you have to have boundaries and guard your time.
That's it.
Yep.
Guard it. All right. The third thing, to be able to like planning and preparation, plan it together.
Yeah.
Plan it together. What are you going to do? You know, now you can take the initiative and be like, hey, I'd like to go to this movie. I'd like to go to this, the theater. I'd like to go to, ice skating, whatever it is, but let the other person have insight too, because if you're always going to get your favorite food and not the other person's. Listen, I love you. But I won't do that. But what's that food you like? Pho? Pho. Okay. I know. Everybody.
Pho.
Listen, if you're not in California, you probably don't know what the pho I'm talking about.
Stop it.
It's like a soup, but I'm not a soup dude. So I'm like, I'm not going to waste calories on soup. But my wife loves it. So I sacrifice and I do that with her. So we plan together, right? Mm-hmm. That's number 3. Number 4, mix it up. Avoid the routines of just getting pho every week. Try new experiences that are exciting. So again, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. We went hiking. Yeah. This past week, we just went.
Almost died.
We did almost die. That was horrible. Don't go hiking in Southern California in the middle of July at noon. Bad idea. With no water. I think we had one water container.
We did, but
it was mine. And you drank it.
It wasn't helping anyway.
It wasn't helping. We were going, hey, but if we go down together. Mix it up. What's something fun that you could do? Matter of fact, right now on YouTube, if you are watching, you can go ahead and comment something you enjoy doing.
Yeah, help us out. Share the love.
Even one of the questions they asked above, it said, like, what are one of your childhood memories that you have? I loved when I was, like, younger. So I used to have 4-wheelers and dirt bikes. But before all that, I had go-karts. And so, like, enjoying that when I was a kid riding a go-kart. Now I love going and go-karting. So I'm like, that'd be fun, going on a go-kart thing, because I got the need for speed anyways. And that would be a sacrifice for you because you don't have the need for speed. You are in the slow lane in California when me and my kids are like in the fast lane. Okay. All right, budget-friendly options, okay? Plan the date that fits your budget. This is number 5. Okay. Don't be going in debt because then you're just going to be causing more tension and issues in the marriage.
That's right. It's about the person. It's not about the thing.
So Krissy and I, we have a budget. On our budget, we know how much money we're spending for our dates. Once it's past that, because we're already past that for the month, we're in the middle of July right now. So I told her, I said, well, our next few dates, we're going hiking, we're going walking, we're going to the gym, because we've already done like sushi. We did something, again, we ate at another restaurant. Anyways, just multiple things. I'm like, oh, there
it is. Dates
are gone. Well, let me say that, rephrase that.
Paid dates.
Paid dates are gone. Yes. Payday. Okay. So here we're going to jump into 5 different types of date nights. Okay?
Yeah.
I know. Some of you are like, I didn't know there's that many types of date nights. Number 1, the stay-at-home dates. Here's your budget-friendly option.
It's so great.
We used to do this when Gwen was younger. And again, my mom would babysit and stuff, but put the kids to bed. We'd start a fire, watch a movie, be on the floor, make sweet, sweet love.
Stop it.
But it was just stay-at-home dates.
Yeah.
I mean, cook together at home, right? Yeah. I mean, they have so many things that you can order now for fun, when it comes to it. So what else?
What else did we do for stay-at-home dates?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it went around that. You could do a bonfire in your backyard.
Yep. Game night.
Oh, yeah, we've done that too.
Yep. Yeah. We used to get into a lot of Monopoly. It's coming back. Now our kids are doing it. All right. Yeah. Second one for types of dates, outdoor activities.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about them. Go on walks. Go on bike rides.
A picnic. Visit a local park. Here, I mean, there's beautiful waterfalls and things to explore. Yeah. Go on e-bike rides, right? Mm-hmm. Go on a bike ride. Actually use your muscles. Number 3, a cultural experience.
Yeah. These are good.
You just mentioned this about going and visiting a museum.
Yeah.
You're like, we should just go stare at art and see if we like it.
We've never done it before. How do we know if we like to go look at art or not? We've never done it. Yeah, I'm like, maybe we'll just go and make fun of all the art. I don't know. We'd have a good time either way.
Yeah. A dancing class, a cooking class. There's so many different things that you can do, especially learning together. So this goes to the next one. If you don't know how to cook, if you don't know how to dance, you get to learn this kind of stuff together. And again, there's pottery classes, right? Remember Ghost? Right? The movie Ghost.
My gosh.
I mean, I'm just saying, it could, again.
I think you just dated yourself and nobody knows what that is.
I've actually never seen the movie. I just know the clip.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's very demonic, so don't watch it now.
And I like that you think that I would watch that when I was younger.
I did. It was like
Oh, now you're dating yourself. See, my wife's older than me.
Staple.
It's a staple.
I mean, I don't know.
Anyways, all I'm saying is learning something new together is going to bring you together. Right? Okay. Number 5, an adventurous date. So I'm down for adventures. It's like, I like to go rock climbing and we have to tether ourselves to the side of the mountain.
Like real rock climbing or going to one of those places where it's fully safe?
My mind went to real rock climbing probably because we're in California and there's tons of mountains and hills around. But yeah, sure. Indoor rock climbing too. That's adventurous. I mean, so something adventurous. I showed you it's almost like Ninja Warrior course for adults.
Oh my gosh.
I showed you that. Look at, see, listen, for everybody that's watching right now and you're like, my spouse isn't going to want to do this. My wife, she just, thank you. She just said she don't want to do that either. What about skydiving?
Absolutely not.
I'm afraid of heights. I don't want to do that either. Okay. So here's another thing. Okay. So when you're planning and preparing for your dates, this is how you're going to enhance your dates. Ready for this?
Yeah.
The first one is big for me. I don't think about that much for you. Unplug.
Yeah.
Unplug. Put away the phone. Don't take your Apple Watch.
Yeah.
If you have an Android watch, you might as well just put on eBay.
Just throw it away.
Yeah, just get rid of it. You want to unplug because you are trying to connect to your boo.
Yeah.
Okay. The second thing, be present.
Yeah.
That matters.
It does.
So again, you can't be present when you're scrolling on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or whatever your favorite social is.
Well, it doesn't even have to be scrolling. It's thinking about the stress of work, the stress of your kids, the stress of your house, and like not actually being there in the moment.
Yes.
What's the statistic? I think it's 58 out of 60 minutes of every hour, people are thinking about either the past or the future. 2 minutes out of every hour, you're living in the present. 2 minutes.
That's crazy.
And so when we say be present, like be present, those things, the Bible is very clear. Like, don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will worry about itself. Like, stop thinking about a conversation you had. Stop thinking about like what could potentially maybe not even be tomorrow. Right. And so it's like, be present. So you're never going to get that back.
Well, and also just for this, because I'm listening actively as you're saying that, is listen and engage in conversation.
Yeah.
Like when you are present, you're actually listening, and you're not looking over your wife's shoulder at the TV of the football game that's on. Ooh. I've purposely sat on the opposite side so I wouldn't see the TV because I just know how it is. I'm like, I will want to engage in this and watch because I love football.
Right.
And so it's like, but I love my wife more.
Yeah.
Now, if it's baseball, it's like, yeah, sure. Sit me in front of it. I don't care.
Express
Number 3.
Appreciation.
There you go, babe. Tell me about that.
Express appreciation. I think it's a really great time. I don't know why. It's got to be a tactic of the enemy that we can't actually say the things that we appreciate about our spouses. Yeah. It's like, oh, it's going to make them too prideful, or it's going to go to their head, or blah, 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 blah. No, that's not true. And I know for you and for me, but I feel like you vocalize this more, is like our spouse's opinion about ourselves is like the number one voice that matters, right? It's like, yeah, the opinion of our boss matters, or our friends and all this kind of stuff. But you have expressed very clearly to me that like whether you're doing like a speaking engagement, whether it's a sermon, whatever it is, like you want my opinion. Like, how did I do? You know, you want those appreciations and those words of affirmation from me. They matter.
Because it's my love language.
Right.
And in Hebrews 10:25, it talks about that we need to encourage each other daily.
Right.
And so it's like, and that's why, again, we have love notes that we write to each other. Literally says, I love blank, and we just give it to each other.
Yeah.
It's important to do, to make those connections.
That's good.
Okay. The next one, physical touch. This is not sexual. This is physical, because there is a difference. Physical touch is a love language.
Yes.
Men, your love language is not physical touch just because when she touches you, you start getting you know what I'm saying? You know, some blood starts rushing. That's sexual touch. Yeah. You like being touched sexually.
Right.
It's different. Physical touch. What are physical touches, Krissy?
Hugs.
Yep, you love those.
Holding hands.
Yep.
I think like kisses and just
cuddling. It's maintaining that physical connection. That
physical contact that's not necessarily, like you're saying, not sexual. It can be a part of it.
It can lead to it for sure.
Absolutely, but it's not the main point of it.
No, because science even shows and backs how important physical connection is.
Yeah.
You think about when our children were first born, what did we do?
Right. That physical touch is so important.
Right away.
There's a bunch of like research that's done in orphanages specifically of those, they're just overflowing with children. It's like they don't have the capacity, and those children who don't have that physical touch early on, it makes a big difference in their developmental phases. And so physical touch is very important.
Yeah. Listen, if physical touch is one of yours, I want you to hit that subscribe button right now and let your boo know I need you to touch me some more.
Yeah.
Okay. Another way to enhance connection is this: romantic gestures. Okay. So this is like talking about writing a love note, bringing flowers, planning a special surprise, being romantic,
Yeah.
you know? Now, I say this all the time, dudes, what worked yesterday isn't going to work today.
Yeah.
If you brought home flowers last night and got some, don't think I'm going to bring home flowers tonight and get some again.
Well, I think it's about being thoughtful.
Yes.
Like, let it be thought-provoking because, and it goes both ways. It's not just men, but it's like, okay, I'm legitimately thinking about my wife right now. What would she like? You know, think about the past week or, you know, oh, she hasn't gone out in a while or she's whatever it is. Like, or my husband's been like working so much, I'm going to make him like a special dinner tonight.
Right.
Or like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like be thoughtful about it.
Yeah.
And don't just be redundant and robotic about it.
That's it. Be romantic, not robotic.
There you go.
Okay. And who would have thought when getting married, there was going to be so much to go into dating, but there is as you get older, as more kids come along, because then you have to think about the logistics of dating, which goes into arranging childcare.
Yeah.
So this is another section. So there's 3 things on the logistics. 1, arrange childcare. 2 is consider timing. And 3 is being flexible. Because we talked about this a little bit earlier. There's a difference between somebody offering you something better to do than dating your spouse, but being flexible that you're sick, right? Being flexible that an emergency comes up. No, we can't go to the hospital. It's our date night.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, get up off the couch. I know you've been throwing up all night. It's our date night. You know what I mean? Like, same thing with a kid, being flexible even when the point of your babysitter calls off. They can't show up anymore. That goes back to what we just talked about when you do a home date, you know? So when it comes to arranging the childcare, you have to plan ahead, right? You're calling the mom, you know, not the mom, the grandma, you know, like a babysitter that you have, whatever it is. You got to make sure that you are planning ahead. They know the date. They know the time. If it's a teenager, are they being dropped off by their parents? Are you picking all the stuff that goes with it, right?
Yeah.
I say this because, again, as guys, sometimes we're like, oh, yeah, I talked to the babysitter. They know Friday. Okay, but do they know the time? Do they know the location? Do they know how many kids? Do they even know how much they're going to get paid?
Right.
So these things that we have to talk about. Considering, again, the time mean. And so what works for both of us? Because that's a conversation. We had to make sure that Fridays are what worked best for us. And that's what we used to do Friday nights. But then when did that turn into family movie night?
I don't know.
Yeah. So we just adjusted.
Probably when the kids started going to school.
Yeah.
Because then it was like.
Probably.
I mean, they had to be in bed because I homeschooled for a while. And then they actually started going to school and they had to get up early. And so.
Yeah. So we just adjusted.
Yeah.
Again, going to the next one about being flexible. We had it planned. We were going to be on Fridays. We had babysitters, all the stuff. We had to be flexible and just shift. So those are logistics. Logistics are going to happen.
They have to happen.
They have to happen for it to be able to happen. All right, let's keep going.
Communication and reflection.
So we have 3 parts for this, for communication. 1, set intentions. Like discuss what you hope to achieve on date night.
Yeah.
Is it just something like we've gone on dates where we've just got massages and we don't even talk to each other?
That was great.
And we make sure, well, that makes me feel bad.
Well, not talking to you. I meant the massage.
And Krissy is definitely like, when it comes to massage, she doesn't want the masseuse. Are they called masseuses?
Yeah.
Masseuses? Misogynist? No.
Not misogynist.
That's something completely else. Not even talking to her. She's like, I want silence. She's told me this. Listen, guys, I want to let you know, my wife. She's told me she doesn't even like me being in the same room because she said, I can hear you actually.
Yeah, I didn't want you next to me.
That's what she said.
Like in the room next to me.
In the room next to her. She's like, I can hear you in the room next to me.
Moaning and groaning about your deep tissue. Like, don't.
Because I get a deep tissue.
Shut
like,
up.
Because I have knots. I'm like, get in there deep, work it out. Like to me, this isn't really something that's like just, ooh, feels good. I'm like, no. Yeah, it's not relaxation. It's like, do some work, make me feel better. So I feel better for the next 10 days, not the next 10 minutes. See how I preach right there? Because you're just like, oh, make me feel good for right now.
First of all, it's an hour.
Anyways, my wife doesn't even like me being in the same building when I'm getting a massage. No, she doesn't. So, but we have our last massage. We were in the same room together, and I tried to be quiet. Reflect together. After you go on a date, spend a few minutes reflecting on your experience. What did you enjoy? What could be better next time? Mm-hmm. Because that's the thing. Like, do we want to do this again?
I hated this restaurant.
Exactly.
Let's not come back here. Exactly.
Or we both loved it. Or I loved it and you hated it. I don't want to be selfish and I show up again and thinking I loved it so much. I bet she did. Same thing with whether it's a movie, whether it's an outing, whether, anything.
Bowling.
Stop bringing up bowling. Nobody likes bowling. Be open-minded. So again, when communicating, you have to be open-minded. Like what Krissy just brought up bowling. I'm not open-minded, I guess, because my answer's already no. If you want to go bowling that bad, I took you and the kids bowling. What was that? Was that spring break? Winter break? Christmas break? It was a while ago. We went one time. I was like, gosh, I'm spending too much money on this stupid game. All right. So, hey, I know there's busy couples out there, but busyness should not keep you from getting busy.
Stop it.
I'm just saying, this is the married life. Micro dates. Have you heard of a micro date?
I mean, I'm sure we've done one.
Right. Micro dates. If time is such a constraint, plan shorter micro dates. Get a coffee break together, a quick walk, cooking a meal, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? You said you like to go on walks after dinner, so I try to help implement that because I was listening intentionally.
That's definitely not a date, though.
No, it's not, because we have a bunch of kids that follow us on our walk. But when we can go on a walk together, micro dates, they work. Do something. You don't have to spend 5 hours together. If you only have 20 minutes is better than nothing. Because in those 20 minutes, again, be
intentional.
Thank you. What would you say about that?
Oh, yeah, you can do a lot in 20 minutes.
Leave your phone at home.
I winked if all of you guys are listening.
Yeah, for any of the podcast listeners. Again, take your watch off. Try to leave the kids at home.
Yeah.
Just go on a date. You and the two. Even the micro date of working out together. That's an hour, 45 minutes, whatever, in the gym together. And you're talking, having a good time.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do this one all the time. Number 2 is combine errands with fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we just make it fun. I don't know why you like going to Costco with me, but
listen, every man loves going to Costco because they give out free food. That's why I like going to Costco.
Well, I like going to Costco.
You want to take me to Walmart? Pass. You want to take me to Target? Pass. You want to take me to Costco? In. Just so you know.
It becomes a date until he leaves me because he gets distracted by certain things.
But then I bring things
that we don't need.
But they will fulfill me.
But that's what I'm saying. It becomes fun. It's just like a fun thing that we do.
Well, it's fun for you. It's not for me because you're telling me to put things back.
Well, then don't come with me. Morning dates are really good, though. Number 3, morning dates. I think, you can do these in or out of the house.
Yep.
I don't know. It depends on your living situation, but sometimes that'll work better for other people, too. Like, for your mom, she's a morning person.
Yep.
We could go to the gym, go get coffee, do whatever we need to do in the morning. And then you're not missing out on any important time.
Yeah.
It's, necessary.
Well, it's like even my own routine. I wake up pretty early. Like today, I think I was up at 4:15. I do my prayer time, my Bible reading. Then I'm at the gym by 5, come home, work on some married life content or sermons, different things. And I'm trying to do all this before my family wakes up because the big thing is I want to invest in myself so I have overflow for you, overflow for them. It's a sacrifice if you're not a morning person to wake up earlier. Mm-hmm. But if you're both morning people, then it's even the micro date of the in-house date of the morning date combined.
Right.
You're just having coffee on the couch together and just talking.
Absolutely.
Not having the phone out, not check, because again, first thing in the morning, we're checking email, checking text, checking phone. It's like, no, I want to check in on my spouse. Mm-hmm. How's my spouse doing?
Yeah,
and so that's a simple micro morning at home, cheap budget date. Everything right there in one. You're welcome.
Nailed it.
You're welcome.
Nailed it.
We just fixed your marriage.
Yeah.
And ourselves. Let's try this one tomorrow. I'll wake you up with me at 4.
Dang it.
All right. This is what we're going to do. The last 6. Okay. We want to talk about making it special. You alluded to this earlier, and I do. I love this. Getting dressed up. Mm-hmm. Actually taking time and doing my hair, putting on pants and a shirt, I guess, getting dressed up. I like it though. When I get to put on my blazer, when we're I don't know.
Going out to dinner, going to something.
Just getting fancier than just shorts and a white tee, even though all I own are T-shirts.
That's true. Very basic.
I have a couple button-ups.
Somebody told me this one time, and it really convicted me. Probably not to the point that I really do it every time, but it is getting dressed up, even if it is for a night in. Because she said, why would you get so dressed up to go out with your spouse, but not in? Who are you trying to impress, your spouse or other people?
Dang. Mic drop.
I was like, that is so true.
Yep.
Why wouldn't I dress up for my spouse if he is the only one that's going to see me?
Yep.
Why wouldn't I do that? That just tells me that you're getting dressed up for everybody else but your spouse.
if you thought that was as good as I did, hit that like button right now because other people need to hear that.
It's so true. Like, oh, my spouse knows. Yeah, my spouse knows how homeless I can look. Absolutely. But sometimes you need to, it shows honor. It shows respect. It shows that you still care about the relationship.
Yep.
And I'm not talking about like whatever is fancy and nice for you. Like, don't think you have to like overextend expenses or be somebody that you're not. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
But you know what it is for you.
Yep.
You know what that means.
Yep.
You getting dressed up.
Well, that reminds me of another video I'm going to post at the end here where we talked about taking care of yourself. We talk about 4 ways to revitalize your sex life. And one of them is taking care of yourself. Not in the sexual way, taking care of yourself, but what you just said. Like, it's important. You're taking care of yourself. You're dressing up. You're doing your hair. You're getting your hair done. You're getting your nails done. You're working out. All those different things.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna link that at the end so everybody can see it on the screen. Just click that. Okay. Another thing. Create the ambiance.
Ooh.
What you think about that, girl?
That music.
Come on, them candles.
We got that romantic playlist on
You know
our
we do.
Amazon Music.
You know we do.
He starts to play it in the car sometimes. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
This is what happens.
What happened was
I just played on my phone the night before, and then when I just plug it into the car, it's just already going. So I don't know if it's prophetic or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's the Lord just like,
Alexa
hey.
knows.
Hey,
Alexa knows.
She does. She's like, hey, he's still in the mood.
Here's my time.
The next one, DIY projects. This
Yes.
has got your name all over it.
Oh, this is my love language.
I'm just going to drift in the background. Go for it.
I
Say what you
love
wanna say.
this. This is great. That's it. DIY projects. I love it.
The other day, where were we? Oh, we were at the gym on our date, and Krissy here is watching HGTV on staring at it. 2 people, one of them is a trainer, actually comes up and she's like, are you using these 2 machines? I said,
no, I'm watching TV. Get out of my way.
But as you're watching it, she tells me, she's like, oh, should we get back into like flipping chairs? And
I did not say we, because I know you hate it. But in Indiana, when, I had time, our life looked different. I loved flipping furniture.
yeah.
I loved
Not like Jesus, okay?
Yeah,
Not like
flipping tables.
not like out of
I like to
out
do
of a
that too
righteous
sometimes.
anger. Yeah,
Maybe sometimes I get
sometimes.
mad.
It's
I
just
just wanna
I
flip
just
the
want them to know, specifically like
Yes,
this isn't the righteous anger. This is the
creativity part.
there
of
it is.
me.
Okay.
So I would get like
Because Jesus was creative. He was a carpenter.
he
You are
built-
just
no.
you are just trying to be like Jesus.
No.
Oh, you're
He
not?
built it. I just paint it. But it's like it was a stress relief for me. Like I enjoy. It's probably like my upbringing. My dad was very like he worked with his hands all of the time, and every time that my dad was doing something like that, I was like with him. I was his free laborer, of course. It probably wasn't fun at the time. No, I remember loving it. I have built houses with my dad. I have refinished our basement with my dad. Anytime, I literally remember being in the garage with him all of the time. And so that's like a part of like my upbringing. Like you like go-karts, that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
And so DIY
I got the need
projects.
for speed. You got the need to build.
I just want to shoot the nail gun.
Yeah. Well, it's even like the other day at church, one of the guys was amazed that you knew what an Allen wrench was. And I was like, listen, you obviously don't know who Krissy and I are.
You don't know.
We
He said stuff before. He like something about drill bits and a bunch. I was like, what are you talking about? You have no idea who I am.
No, exactly. Yeah, I mean, what's that? Chip and Joanne? You're Joanne. Now you just got to find your Chip. No, definitely not. Okay, next one. Again, making it special, cooking together. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Super simple. If you like cooking together, if she likes cooking, and do it together. Like that's something.
Anyway.
100%. You got to eat anyways. It can be fun. It also can be stressful because I'm trying to actually make breakfast because I make breakfast.
You're actually hungry.
Because I'm actually hungry. And then also I'm selfish. So it's like when I'm making breakfast, usually I'm like listening to like either a podcast or ESPN or something. Well, now lately my kids want to cook with me. So I've been like, okay, I'm not going to listen to a podcast. I'm going to do that. But as they cook, they're just dropping eggs left and right. Mm-hmm. Literally today, Ellis drops an egg on the counter. It cracks. And then he just holds it there upside down while it's just like
dripping on the ground.
Yeah. I'm like, and then he dropped another one on his chair. And I'm like, these are memories. Memories, Joe. Memories. You know, you got to like, as a dad, you're like getting aggravated because we expect perfection because we're perfect. I know, we're sinners. Anyways, next one. Revisit places where you went on your relationship at first. Different, obviously we didn't live in California, so it's hard to revisit memory lane for us. But different places where we used to date, go to the beach, go on drives, go and make out, all those things, Yeah. Especially you're married now. Go. Listen, you used to sneak around and go make out. Go to that same place in your car now and do it like now that you're married. Now you're under the covenant of God. It's okay.
Go do it.
You know what I'm saying? But we don't. We should do that. Go find a place to make out in our car.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I'm getting ideas, preaching to myself here. Okay, and the last one for making it special, goal setting.
I really like this.
Why?
Shameless plug. We have a book coming out.
Yes, we do.
And a workbook.
Yes.
Blueprints of Marriage.
Yep.
And this is all about goal setting.
Yes, it is.
It's about building the marriage of your dreams.
Yep.
Goal setting is so important in your marriage.
Yes. Listen, if you want a free first chapter to that, I'm going to put a link below.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. Just came to mind. You can click it and we will send you that free first chapter when it's out. And we'd love your input in it because we're working on this now. So we'd love your insight. Be like, ooh, this was great, or this makes no sense at all.
Yeah, love it.
But just like what you're saying, because one of the big parts of this is that, the Bible talks about that where there is no vision, the people perish. Where there is no vision for your marriage will perish.
Absolutely.
The word vision is the same word for dream. It's the same word for purpose. If your marriage doesn't have purpose, if you're not dreaming in your marriage, if you don't have hope in your marriage, if you don't have a vision for your marriage, you're not going to have a marriage.
Yeah.
And so goal setting is so great. Now, here's the thing. A lot of times in school, we don't learn how to goal set, right? It's like you don't learn how to set budgets. You don't really know how to learn how to critical think. It's really like think this way.
Do this.
100%. And so that's why our book is very much going to be a hands-on things to practically put in place today. It's like things that you'll be able to do today and have a better marriage tonight.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be so practical. Just like this, like literally like this was a practical podcast. We gave you so much content today to go on a date. Because literally as we're talking about this, we're saying, hey, there's 10 ways. This is how you bring back intimacy. There's 10 ways. And this is just number 1 of 10.
Yeah.
It's dating. And it took us an hour almost to go through that because of how important it is. And so we just want you to know, you got to, again, going through, like you saw it, but the focus that it takes, scheduling it, being intentional about it, having questions ready, getting dressed up, understanding it's actually going to be, I'm going to be less stressed. I could do it at home, whatever it is, but I'm going to set a goal to date my spouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good.
So good. Right here is that video we talked about earlier about the 4 ways to revolutionize your sex life. And we just talked about one of them. The third one is actually taking care of yourself. So go ahead, click this right now, and you're going to see what the other 3 are.